This is the grid that the Bombers call home.
You're throwing the tee in the ground. If your hand's not shaking, there's something wrong.
I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. I'm in my element. Flow is like water. I'm forced to a fire. I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth. Following God and you grinding. You do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center. Word to Spike Lee. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element. Yeah. I'm in my element.
Group 3 will tee off at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, and it features last event's champion, that is Zach Holton, who has been impressive at every single stop on the tour in 2023. In LaSalle, Holton had the third longest drive of the weekend at 473 and put together one of the best sets that we've seen in 2023 altogether, taking down Martin Borgmeyer in the final for his first ever event win. The 2021 PLDA Rookie of the Year has been one of the most consistent long drivers, advancing to the round of 16 at the very least at each event. The world's 6th-ranked long driver, Brandon Flynn, also in Group 3. The 31-year-old will be looking for his first appearance in an event top 8 this weekend. He cracked the round of 16 in LaSalle, Hope Sound, and Mesquite Volume 1. Group 3 will also feature the likes of Ryan Gregnall, George Haggerty, Scott Littlefield, and you can watch it all go down at 12:30 p.m. Central Time at youtube.com/@theworldlongdrive.
Tyson's a stud. The pride of Canada. I get to go there in 2 weeks, and there's a place that hasn't paid us yet. You know that they need to, because I'm gonna drink their coffee for like 8 straight days. But Zach Holton, featured hitter, ended up taking a W, his first one in Denver, and like I said, in a very, very impressive set. You know, was one ball away from having the greatest set in the history of long drive. His worst drive was, I think, shortest drive was 462 yards. But Zach Holton, 23-year-old stud, or 26-year-old stud, starting off here in slot number 1, I reckon. All right, so we have, looking at the screens here. All right, Zach Holton isn't keyed in as of yet. We were missing him. We got Gavin Yokas and a couple of them as well. All right, so Zach Holton, Wes Campo, Gavin Yokas, and a ghost player hitting. Zach Holton is in slot number 1. We're going to get the camera on him here soon, because right now we have Gavin Yokas in both slot 2 and 3 on my screen, which I'm guessing is on yours as well. So Kyle Berkshire started off Group 1, ended up taking 800 points, and was sitting in the high 220s, and had the longest ball of the tournament so far at 383. Borgmeyer looked awesome. Sean Johnson looked great as well. And Zach Holton starting off here with a 375. We're in Memphis, Tennessee. We have a left to right grid right now. The ground is working for the hitters. We're going to get some rollout here. Look at Wes Campo, 360. Wes was kind enough, knowing that I got in slightly late. My flight was only delayed 17 hours yesterday getting into Memphis, and I didn't have a rent-a-car. He gave me his rent-a-car, and I just had a lovely meal, chicken fingers and a hamburger. So Wes Campo, good work. We have I don't know if he's a special guest. Are you special or special? That's the question. Like, special's like, we have a special guest in the booth, but I think it's more you're just special. Bobby Ray, the second best mullet in long drive, is in the house. Robert Ray, good work today, big guy.
Thanks.
He's going to be into the round of 32. What were the changes that you made today compared to Denver?
You know, I don't know if I can necessarily put my finger on any changes. Some weeks you just feel better than others. You know, it's strange, but had a little family support and one of my buddies here, so I had to put on a show for him.
Oh, you did.
And when you win your first set, you just feel so much better than coming in third like I kept doing in Denver. So it's nice to jump out with 200 points. Zach Holton still looking unbeatable or what?
Just throwing strikes. 376 currently is in the lead. Wes Campo at 360. He ended up taking a driver up to the tee box that he had never hit before, and not bad, Wes. 360's good. Gavin Yokas got in yesterday in regionals, ends up 356. And once again, the ghost player didn't hit a ball in play. He hasn't gone OB yet, but by golly, he hasn't hit one in play.
I think that the ghost player, obviously, he just, when he's bragging about himself, he just says never goes OB. I don't think you have to bring up the fact that he's never won a set.
No, it's impressive. But yeah, Zach Holton, 2021 PLDA Rookie of the Year. Had a good.
What's up, guys?
There they
There's
are.
the camera.
Look at the hat.
How's everybody doing? Just a beautiful day here in Memphis, Tennessee. And you know what's crazy is I was saying earlier that I felt like I actually got lucky hitting at 8 a.m. today.
Yeah.
But I actually am starting to think it was so humid early in the morning with all that moisture coming off the ground. I actually think it's the other way around. I think 8 a.m. was probably the most brutal conditions we had because it was so humid. Like, I had to keep applying liquid chalk everywhere, all over my arms. I looked like a stupid power lifter.
Did the humidity make your hair curl or your mullet curl? Or just I feel like the humidity would benefit you. Like you don't have there you are. You know, you don't have to worry about chapped lips. You know, I mean, but you do have a little bit of a break.
Moist. You gotta keep the lips moist. I tell you.
Robert Ray, looking good here.
Just good to be here with you, Bobby Bradley. I'm glad you got in last night at about 4 a.m. Got 26 minutes of sleep.
Oh man.
All right.
George Hegarty, Scott Littlefield, Drew Cody, Bud Widener. Scott Littlefield making a Final 8 last tournament. Got into the heads-up matches, and, you know, when you get into those heads-up matches, just put balls in play. You know, these guys are susceptible, even yourself, of going OB. And, you know, Scott Littlefield made a Final 8, and he's a guy that's going to be 206 to 208. And Bud Widener, yeah, he got up to a good start this year. Saw him out he was in Hobe Sound. He didn't win the amateur division. I believe the professional amateur ended up winning that one, but Bud ended up having the longest drive out of all the guys going in to the amateur quarterfinals. But George Hegarty, know that George mentioned he was going to try to have a little bit different of a setup and go to a longer driver. George has been the one to kind of hit a 45-inch setup for the last couple of years. So he's off to he was off to a decent start with an 8-yard drive, but that's OB, it looks like. But Scott Littlefield 352, Drew Cody 340, Bud Widener without a number right now, but looks like he hit a little cutty right down the right side, but that was a miss hit, 187, so that was a big miss hit, 146 club speed. So, all right, what are your predictions? Where are you going to finish tomorrow?
If I hit it the way I hit it today, I'd be surprised if I, didn't move into the top 16. Like you said, I think it's a lot of fun to have that match play format once you get to 16. It is more fun to watch. It may not be the most fair. It may not, allow the best hitters to get through as consistently, but it is more fun to watch. 1v1, win or go home, is the best format in this sport in terms of everybody's viewing pleasure back home. There's no question about it.
All right, George Hegarty is at 203.6 here with a little cutty right down that right side. Spun it a little bit, 170 feet in the air. That one, we'll see where that one, he kind of rode the wind here. And if that one stayed in play, I feel like that one was going to be in the air long enough, 352 yards. So Scott Littlefield is still currently in the lead at 355. Scott Littlefield with the best finish of his career, with a T5. And 64 hitters. Today, we're a little light on the hitters. We might have 58, 59 hitters. But still, I mean, the fact that we're getting a full field at all these tournaments, tip of the cap. And, there's guys that are coming up through the ranks here that are, making a name for themselves. Especially you, Bobby Ray. They really like that, the sleeveless shirts and the tight pants. And I still think, who has tighter pants, you or Martin?
Well, now Martin. I signed a deal with Loudmouth. They have awesome stuff. It fits me a little better.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the old stuff I was wearing was just a little bit too snug. Still, keeping them nice and short, but a little bit more room there. So Martin's got me beat by a mile. I mean, he couldn't hide a stick of gum without you seeing the outline of it with his shorts. But he pulls it off. Those Europeans, man. They definitely
can pull it off. They look so cool doing it.
They do.
They
I
do.
mean, honestly, us Americans have a lot to learn from those guys. I tell you what.
Fashion capital of the world is in Milan. Is that it? We're on TV. I'm wearing my shirt and my hat. I could take my glasses off, but I'm pretty sure my eyes are like bloodshot. So you know what? I got some rest. We made it happen. We made it
fumes,
happen.
man.
Greg Null. All right, he's due. Come on. I want to see Greg Null have a tournament here. He's dressed like me, myself, and Irene right now, as far as like the facial hair and you remember the name of Me, Myself, and Irene?
I've never seen it.
Oh, come on, with Jim Carrey?
Never seen it. He does look good though.
Yep. Dwight Riddle, slot 2, Trevor Scott. A gentleman that said that, if they did have a starting 5 basketball team, he would be in the starting 5. He compared himself to like LeBron.
Who did?
Trevor Scott. He pretty much saying he's better than you.
In what?
In basketball. He said he can dunk from the 3-point line. That's
Oh,
what he told
well,
me.
then that's pretty good. I can't dunk from the 3-point line. Victor Wembanyama
Hirano,
can.
here we go. We got a Tensei Hirano here in slot number 4. At 339 yards. Greg Null still working on a number here. This one's Obi Wright. All right. Let's key in on Greg Null because early on in the tournament, slot number 1 was just piling up W's. A lot of wins in slot number 1. And it helps with that little cut left to right here. So this grid is dead flat. We're on a turf farm again for the second tournament in a row, but we do have a little left to right wind. So a little flat cut would be nice to hit. Another 8-yard drive going back to 0.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Null, obviously, at this stage, he just needs to see some balls hit the grid.
Yep.
And I was actually telling my buddies here with me, I was throwing out a few names that I thought, could win this thing. And if we get a hurt wind, Greg Null hits it low. And if he gets into a rhythm, he could win any one of these events. But I think tomorrow might be a hurt wind.
Yeah,
is what I've seen.
Tensei Hirano right here at 370. Fast hands. Last one was a slight miss hit from him, but this is the beauty of the sport. You get a guy that you haven't seen necessarily, and this guy's got really good hands here. Look at his hands set at the top, and he rips through it. So would love to see what that number was on ball number 3, but with 370 on the board right now, I mean, he obviously optimized that flight. Trevor Scott with the fist bump here. Greg Null looks like he's flirting down the left side. This one looks like it's going OB. So Greg Null still struggling a little bit trying to find the grid here.
Let's key in on him. Let's see if he can get his rhythm down. I think he's missing left more than he's missing right. So let's set the hands a little bit and get into a rhythm. Nope.
OB left.
He's not going to be pleased.
No, it just, once again, it kind of looks like he's a little too close to the golf ball. It's almost like he's standing too close to it where he's fighting those hands to keep him inside, and he's turning that club face over. I bet if he just stepped off the ball just a quarter inch and try to line it up off the toe, I mean, Greg Null's never off by a lot, and he's a guy that can turn the switch on really quickly and start putting a lot of balls in play. But Tensei Hirano is at 370, Trevor Scott's at 358, Riddle's OB, Greg Null's OB. But we talk about you can get away with it early on in tournaments going OB. We're going to have Brandon Flynn come up next, Hunter Noel, Damon Dooley, and Brian Perrin. I always wait for Seamus to say the name for first-year guys or first-time guys. But I'm going to say it's Perrin.
What I usually do is I can't read.
Yeah,
so
I can't either.
I never mess up anybody's name because there's no reading. I only know by introduction.
Yep. Here we go. We're going to hear his name. We got Brandon Flynn. Brian Perrin. We were right. We're looking at Elon. Elon has good penmanship though. So when he says break, I might take a little bit of a little time for me to read it, but we may or may not be going to a break after this set. Robert Ray. We're live in Memphis, Tennessee. We're on a turf farm. It's flat. It's perfect. We have an amphitheater type of setup with the trees surrounding us, and it's a beautiful venue. We were always at the same place. It was a putt-putt place for however many years. Tip of the cap to Spencer McDaniel. He has hosted these events for several years and always puts on a great tournament. And you know what? He always has good T-shirts as well. Always get a T-shirt.
Finally getting some gear.
Nice T-shirt.
Hunter yelling at one. I like that he yells at golf balls even in the round of 64. This is a high energy, high testosterone sport, and let it out. Because sometimes you can get lulled to sleep in these early rounds, and let's reignite our enthusiasm, and he does a good job of that.
Yep. But it said Hunter's going to have a ball in play, and that was that was a miss hit. He hit 191 yards or 191 mile per hour, and it still went 356. The ball's carrying right now.
The conditions are a little bit better now than they were early this morning. So I think we might see some 385, 390 balls potentially.
Yeah, I
if somebody
do. I
catches
do
one.
too. I do too. I said it. Brandon hit a little cut into a draw, or
Yeah,
a little
okay,
draw into a
here
cut
it
win.
goes.
So 376. So like you just change the profile of a little right to left or left to right. You know, we're gonna see the balls go a little bit farther. But Flynn's looking good as always. He's at 376, safely in the lead by 13 yards. Hunter Knoll yelling at it, 1900, 204.3. And that's a good ball for Hunter. The fastest ball I've seen him hit this year was 207, and that was in Denver. He had his entire family there. He even got to compete with his brother Chase. And this ball looks good from Hunter. Let's see if he rode that wind down the right side, and if he could put up a 380 ball. Boom. Yeah,
boom. God, you're good.
The number can be made right now. Like I said, it's hot, and I think that little cut.
And the humidity is dropping.
Yeah.
There's no question about it, folks. The humidity has dropped a considerable amount. You know, that 8 a.m. and was it 10:30?
Yeah.
Or 9:30, whatever the hell time they went off. The humidity was insane. So we're going to start seeing some balls that are going to approach 400 yards if somebody hits it right and gets the right hop.
Brandon Flynn, if this one's in down the right side, stayed in the air a long time. 207 ball, 200 feet in the air, riding the wind, 369. Hunter Knoll's going to take down set number 1, 380. We'll be back right after this.
Introducing the new Bridgestone E9 Long Drive. Co-designed by world long drive athletes to push the limits of distance. Thanks to extreme ball speed and superior aerodynamic flight. Engineered for you to hit your longest drive. Drive the new E9 Long Drive. Extreme distance for your game.
Introducing World Long Drive International memberships. World Long Drive welcomes all of their international affiliates as part of the World Long Drive family. With an international membership, our worldwide competitors now have the ability to compete in internationally sanctioned World Long Drive events, the ability to earn world ranking points, plus all of the great community membership benefits. Sign up for an international membership today at worldlongdrive.com. All pro memberships include the ability to compete in international World Long Drive sanctioned events. Learn more at worldlongdrive.com. I saw the Long Drive ball in a pro shop up in New York a couple days ago. Yeah,
It's exciting.
it is. It's fun hitting it at these corporate and charity events as well. It's a good ball.
Yeah, I like them.
It flies straight, when you're doing, the amount of exhibitions that you've been doing. It's just like, it's nice to hit like 1 or 2 balls and like call it a day, And I can rely on this golf ball going straight.
The other day I was at a charity event. It was about a 25-yard fairway, and I refused to let a group go without one being in play.
Oh, no.
There was one group I had to have hit 10 golf balls for one group, and I was just like, you guys are
That's
not
a
leaving
rookie
this too
move
much.
right there.
I don't care. It's good. It's good for me leading up to a tournament to hit a bunch of golf balls, honestly. If you embrace it, it's speed work.
10?
That was the most I've ever hit.
Oh, my gosh.
I normally am a 2 or 3 guy, but it was my pride got in the way. Dwight Riddle, George Haggerty, Brian Perrin, and Gavin. Gavin, I'd like to see get a ball and play. Gavin's my roommate this week, fellow St. Louis guy. Just an absolute blast to be around. Makes me laugh nonstop. So what's not making me laugh is his OB ball. So let's get one in play here, Gavin.
You're supposed to be non-biased and root for
I'm not
people.
biased. I just said it doesn't make me laugh when he goes OB.
You're rooting for him.
I'm rooting for all of these guys.
Everybody's
Dwight Riddle
a winner
at the
here.
370
Everybody's
ball.
Riddle
and,
back.
And he's due to have a good event. I mean, he's got plenty of speed.
Yep.
Dwight Riddle, you just got to hit his best ball a little bit more often. I'd say that's the one thing he doesn't do is hit his best ball often enough. And if he starts doing that, he's got plenty of speed to get into a top 16.
There he goes.
There we go, Gavin.
204.5. 16 launch is a high launch.
He's a high ball hitter, dude.
But this is a cut. It's riding the wind. I like this ball. Let's see if he just spun it just a little too much. I think it really just comes down to landing angles. here. That might have been too high of a launch, but what do I know? You know, 371, yeah.
Oh, baby, he needed that, too.
Yep.
You know, he went OB in his first set. Needs a win. At worst, a second here. It looks like it should hold up unless George Haggerty hits a good ball with his last one.
Yeah, that was just a little cut. You got to ride that win right now.
George Haggerty liked his last one. If it stays in the grid, it's flirting with the right side. That's 204 ball speed. Do you think that'll take over the 371?
Don't know. I mean, like I said, the one thing it'd be nice to see a little bit was like the landing angle on Gavin Jokic's ball, but that ball stayed in the air forever, you know, and it kind of just rode out that wind. And Haggerty goes 355. But I like what I saw from Haggerty. 5 out of 6 balls in play. Dwight Riddle's going to take second at 370. Gavin Jokic is at 372, so the 371 improved by a yard. I think Zach Holton's going to hit it 390, 395.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this sets up perfect for him. Honestly, I think Regnall's going to go 390 as well. Selman's going to hit it 400 yards, potentially today. Kyle's got the longest ball, but he said that was this morning, you know. But the ground's starting to harden up here. We do have roll, and
Kyle likes to do that against me. That's 2 tournaments in a row he's hit his longest ball against me. He just doesn't like me, dude. Like, I think he pictures, you know, he sees my stupid outfit, you know, down on, you know, one of these old platforms here. And he's like, you know, I just need to show this guy up. He went 480 at 7:30 in the morning out in Denver. And I'm like, oh, boy, we're in trouble. And then today he went 382 against me with the worst conditions, you know, of the day. So
I would have liked to have seen like a nice gust of wind downwind there, because 500 was definitely in play. And I feel like the ball that, you know, even Bryce for Plank hit that went 489, like it wasn't even that windy. So
Greg Null looks like this one should be in finally. He's OB to start his day, and it'll loosen him up a little bit to see a number.
I'm not yawning, you're yawning. I'm not yawning, you're yawning.
You know,
Scott Littlefield's tough, man. He's just hitting balls in play, and he hits it in the air, just rides it wind. But I think 390 is in play. It's got to be. You know, 380, and that was like I said. Let's be critical. If he hits a cut there, that goes 390. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
So like Gavin Jokic just hit a high cut, and it was like just minimal. It was probably 10 yards of movement left to right. So Greg Null,
that might have been the wind. It may have been a straight ball and just had the wind take it.
Damon Dooley down the left side. He's in it with a number, but I think that third ball was better, significantly better. I don't think it was better. I know it was better for that one stayed in play.
Damian, is this one going to miss left, or is that going to hang in there?
Greg Null, 223.3 outright. That was a bomb. So, like, Greg Null's close. I said I wanted to see him off the ball just a tad. I just feel like he's just crowding the plate a little bit too much, getting jammed slightly, you know, where he's hitting more of a heel strike. 392, Greg Null.
There it is. Yep, longest ball of the day, Ryan Greg Null, 392, and our predictions are. Look, and Damian Dooley with a 384 ball. The ball's starting to go.
Yeah,
we're going to see 400 here before too long. The grid's drying out. We're probably getting another 50% roll than we were earlier.
Yeah, we were getting reports back that they were getting 15 to 20 yards of roll. This is a bomb from Greg Null. This is probably it was a miss hit, a little bit. 211.9. The height was 105. This is kind of. The good thing sitting in the booth is kind of telling a story right now. Does a high ball work? Does a low ball work? That was a little too low. It still went 380 yards.
I think it's a mid-flight grid.
Yeah,
I
just
think
like
you
Gavin.
can get away with either way, but
so even though Gavin won his last set, I feel like his descent angle it was too steep. You know, it went 372, which is still a good ball, but like Greg Null's landing angles, just a little bit better. So yeah, I'd say mid ball, a little cut. I mean, this sets up perfectly for guys like Josh Koch and Zach Holton.
The best long hitters in the world have come for a chance to call themselves a world champion. It's all about power. It's all about accuracy. It's all about guts.
Looking to compete on the World Long Drive Tour for the largest prize purses in World Long Drive history? Pro and amateur members can compete in their respective divisions all summer long as World Long Drive kicks off their 2023 tour. Visit worldlongdrive.com to become a member and view all the registration dates for upcoming tour events.
I can draw like two things.
Yeah, no, that was a good guess on that Pictionary thing that you just drew for us. When we're going to a break, let's try to find out fun facts about Memphis. Let's go. You know, both you and I can't read, so let's read. Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee, is one of the most iconic streets in America. You're welcome. It has 3 blocks of nightclubs, restaurants, and shops in the heart of downtown Memphis, and a melting pot of Delta blues, jazz, rock and roll, R&B, and gospel. Wow, whoever wrote this, that's amazing. All right, and facts about World Long Drive, if you just wanted to know. First event was held in 1974, so Christopher Columbus was not the first to ever throw a long drive tournament. Now you know. Some of the early events were held in conjunction with the PGA Championship each year, with the Long Drive Championship being contested a day or two before the PGA's opening round. Canadian Jason Zubak is the most successful competitor with 5 world titles in the Open Division and won 4 in a row in between 1996 and 1999.
That's better than Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan only won 3 in a row.
Tom Brady never won 4 in a row. Jason Zubak did. Brandon Flynn in second place right now. Bud Widener, 359.
Oh, Brandon liked that last one he hit. I mean, he just
He
slotted it underneath. God, I like to see that ball fly.
Someone who gives me a rent-a-car, I got to root for him. You know what? I told you picked favorites, Gavin Yogas. I'm taking Wes Campo on this. I apologize to every single guy here, but he gave me a rent-a-car so I can go get some food.
That's clutch.
Very generous, and I told him.
I got to tell you, Wes Campo's got to be the nicest guy out here. He just really is.
Yep.
You
Good
can't
dude.
not like Wes Campo.
Yep. All right, so Brandon Flynn right now is still in second place. This ball is a draw down
And Brandon
the
Flynn, on the other
middle.
hand, I mean, I don't know how you can like him.
Yeah,
He's just
completely
an awful
unlikable.
human being.
Can't like, yeah. Brandon is another guy. Impossible not to like. We always say thank you for your service. Mr. Flynn, great hitter, great dude.
That's a tiebreaker, I believe.
Well, that fifth ball is going to be ahead. Oh, no, it's not. A little too much of a draw. Wes Campo improving the 345. Brandon Flynn looking back at his last ball. We are not getting a tracer on that, but it looks like Bud Widener might be able to take this one down here. Where's Bud at? That's a good start there.
Dude, he's got some speed.
He does.
He
He
really
does.
does.
He does. Just a matter of center punching the golf ball for Bud.
So he wore pink. Bud's shirt and my pink shorts today would have been a look, man.
Yeah, it would have been electric.
Maybe I'll let Bud borrow my pink shorts next event.
Brandon Flynn comes in on the last ball at 367, so he goes 4 out of 6, takes down the set for 200 points. Brandon Flynn will have 300.
That's the best. That's the best Brandon's look, so far today. Those last couple swings, really slotting it underneath, and he releases the club well automatically. But sometimes he can get just a little bit steep with it. I feel like if he slots underneath, hits the inside portion of the ball, he's in business. And he was doing that there. Even though this wind doesn't play to his draw, he'll still be fine, and he'll get through today if he keeps hitting it like that. But there's no question that it's starting to come off the left pretty good right now. So anybody who's moving the ball a little left to right or hitting a dead straight ball is going to be at an advantage.
Right now we have 4 televised events on the Golf Channel coming up. Kingsport, Tennessee, the weekend of August 26th to the 28th at Cattails Golf Course. Great venue, by the way. And we'll host the Amateur Division World Championship. We're going to be in Oceanside, California. Senior Division World Championship will be then. And then the last 2 televised events will be a Celebrity Pro-Am in Atlanta, followed by the Women's Division and Open Division World Long Drive Championships in October. Looking forward to seeing that in Atlanta. We should have some really good weather around that time of the year. We got Zach Holton here in slot number 2. And Tennessee Hirano, 363 to start off. He hit a ball 370 to start off this tournament as well. So Drew Cody, OB, and
Drew Cody, plenty of speed though. I mean, you miss hit that one, close the face, 213.
Yep.
So, dude, The number of guys that are able to go 210 plus.
Oh yeah.
Within the last couple of years, I mean, it's what, tripled?
It's out of control how fast the guys are in the final 16 of the World Championships. It's I mean, significantly faster than ever before. I mean, just watching in 2021 that final 16 and last year, I mean, the average ball speed had to have been 215, if not more than that. So, Tensei Arana with a good ball down the right side. You know, is off a little bit. I mean, I like the profile of his shot. Now, Zach Holton hit a little bit of a draw here at 212. Looks like he's going to have a number on the board, fighting a little bit of the crosswind. Hunter Knowles at 373. Zach Holton with his third ball in play. I'd just like to see a little bit of a cut from Zach. That was at 381.
Yeah.
And then when you see Zach dialed in, he's going to be 220, 222. A ball speed.
218 there.
That ball's a bomb. Let's see the height.
Yeah.
149. That's a perfect golf ball in this grid.
390.
That's going to be 391 plus or minus. Plus or minus 391.
I'm going to go minus the 391.
I don't know if he hit it high enough, but we're sure going to find out here in a second if that stayed in play because that was a bomb. I'm going to say it's more. I'm going to say he went 394. 394. 392.
Oh, what a great over-under. You are such a stud. You know this sport so well. Let's key in on Hunter because he won his first set.
Yep.
And, you know, he obviously is a fiery guy, and I like to see him hang around. 373, he's got one left. Let's see what he can do with it.
He likes it.
Oh, Drew Cody hammered one down the left.
A little spinny down that left side, but, you know, this ball actually does well with spin. It really does. It stays in the air a long time. This is a really good golf ball. So Drew Cody yelled at that last ball. Not sure if that one's going to stay in play or not. Like I said, it fought down that left side. 386.
Woo-hoo! He needed that too,
so
man. He needed
2,800 spin. 2,800 spin. All right. Little spin. Little height on the golf ball.
You know, this could be a really fun 6 through 10 battling it out for those top 8. It could be.
Zach Holton takes it down.
Catch every single World Long Drive Tour competition right here on the World Long Drive YouTube channel. The Amateur, Senior, Women's, and Open Division Championship will be available on the Golf Channel. To stay up to date on everything WLD, follow us on social at World Long Drive.
Taking a peek at the comments, Luke Wood, Bobby Bradley, this is your flu game. Hell of a job cutting it out. Luke Wood's a funny guy. Yeah, no, it's I got a text message from Zane this morning at like 6. He's like, "Are you up? Or are you here? Did you make it?" Because I kept texting him like, "My flight got canceled. Now my flight's at 10:10. Now my flight got delayed." And then it was like 1:20. My flight went out, and it says I was landing at like 3 in the morning. And I was like, "I'll text you if I don't make it."
Yeah.
So I didn't text him, but yeah, the flu game.
Well, the question shouldn't be, are you awake? The question should be, did you
Are you
ever
in
even
Memphis?
sleep?
Yeah.
Are you alive,
No.
honestly? All righty. Hunter yelling at another golf ball. He definitely leads World Long Drive in balls yelled at.
Yes,
and I
he
think
does.
it's not even
He's
close.
a world champion
He's
right
the Barry
now.
Bonds of yelling.
He is the best in the business at yelling.
He's about what Barry Bonds' on-base percentage was with yelling, I would say.
100%. Hunter
60%.
Knoll, 390. 390 from Hunter Knoll. We're going to see 400-yard drives right now. 399 Ryan Gregnall. No surprise. Look at this ball from Gregnall. 213.8. Right side. Look, I'm going to look at the spin numbers now. Because Drew Cody went 2,800 spin. That ball stayed in the air a long time. Let's see what Gregnall's numbers. Didn't spin it enough, I'm guessing. 385. Hunter Knowles in the 2400s. Gregnall starting to settle in.
You know what's funny about when the grid and the conditions start to change so rapidly like this is you might hit a ball and you look up on the screen and you see a big number and you're feeling really good, and all of a sudden you start seeing even bigger numbers come up and you're like, whoa, and you're having to readjust your mindset as to what's a big ball on the go. Because literally your last set, a 375 ball might have been big, and now all of a sudden a 20-minute difference could be a 15 to 20 yard difference, and you're having to adjust your mindset because I guarantee you Hunter Knoll, when he saw 390 pop up before Greg Knoll's 399, I guarantee he thought he probably was going to win the set. And now he's having to battle it out for a second or try to retake the lead.
Gavin Jokic ended up winning his set at, 372? And we just talked about landing angles and thought that was a little too steep. And then here we are, like you said, 15 minutes later, and 372 is losing by 27 yards right now, or would be. So Jokic is on the board, though. He's got numbers, which is good. He needs points. Right now, Gavin Jokic is at 250.
Let's see what Gavin can do on ball 6 here. I think he likes it. It's going to be in the middle of the grid. Did he hit it solid?
That's a good number.
Baby.
Oh, I like those numbers. Look at the spin rates. At 1,700. So I think, like I said, a little bit more spin right now is playing out. But I like the fact that he rode the win here. Let's see if this number is going to be in the 80s. There we go, 389.
Man. See, that just hurts, dude.
So,
that
like
hurts.
right now, if you spun that maybe 600, 700, 800 more, we're looking at like more like 2,400, 2,500 spin.
Whoa. Let's pause for a second. Is Hunter Knoll okay?
Uh-oh. Is he walking with a limp? So we're not sure what happened to Hunter Knoll as of right now. I mean, it is hot. I don't know if he has an Achilles.
Potentially lower leg
Achilles
injury.
Can't
I hope
see.
he's okay.
Yeah. So
I mean,
let's just hope it's a cramp.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
You hope it's a
hot.
cramp, or you hope it's something heat related, right? Which can definitely happen pretty quickly out here. Looked like he was wincing pretty badly, but he was walking off on his own power. So hopefully Hunter's all right.
Yeah, we got Brandon Flynn up here who's been susceptible over the years to getting cramps in his calves. So hopefully he's okay here. But Bobby Bradley, the killer bees in the booth. Yeah, look at these guns that I have. Whatever. I have a farmer tan kind of.
This is $1 million arm right here.
2.25.
2.25.
Don't discount it. After taxes, it was about
$1.25 million arm right here.
Hey,
Bobby Bradley,
remember,
first-round draft pick. What an athlete. I heard stories of his athletic prowess. And now he's, if he was just half as good of an athlete as he was in the booth, we'd really have something going here.
I'd be Barry Bonds.
He's the only one willing to deal with us and to watch golf balls for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So we're happy to have him in here.
God bless America. Good country.
You really does. You really do know what you're talking about, though. Your over/under numbers on balls are insane.
It's just a guess. I got lucky, I mean, but when they're in like a yard or two, then yeah, it's kind of like I get lucky from time to time.
Let's see how good you are here, just for fun. Throw out a number. What do you
Brandon
think the winning
Flynn's going to hit
ball
at 383.
Okay. See, Brandon Flynn is just so steady.
Yep. Look at I like the spin numbers on this.
Can he get a 390 plus ball out there with these conditions? These conditions are not favoring him. He likes to turn it right to left, and it's obviously favoring a ball that's either straight or a little bit left to right. So I don't know if Brandon has 390 in him. See, that's a good ball, and it's working against him. It's working against him.
He hit a little
right
thin,
now.
little skinny.
That one might be better. He hit that one dead straight. I mean,
383 plus or minus. What we're going to do? Let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. Say he's going to go over that. Brandon Flynn at 206, 183 in the air. Spin rates are about 2,000. Come on, 383. That's my number.
Yeah,
that's my number.
Let's key on Dwight here too.
Drew Cody's OB right now, but Drew Cody ended up going 390. That's his longest drive of the set so far.
So let's update you a little bit on the points, too, here. I mean, Brandon's already at 300 points going into his third. He's looking good. Obviously, he's already winning this set. Drew Cody and Dwight Riddle have got to put some good balls in play because they're on the bottom half of the 16 right now. That
might be double spin from Drew Cody. It says 3,300. It went from 1,600 to 3,300. But I like this ball from him right now. It rode the win. I think Drew Cody's going to take the lead on this ball.
And he might be, I mean, I've seen some of his speeds. He might be the fastest guy in this group right now today, profile. The way he's moving it.
Great profile shot right there, too, from Drew Cody.
Now, Brandon, obviously, we know can move it, too. We just haven't seen any big ball speed numbers out of him yet. He might be conserving energy.
But Greg Knoll's looking good the last two sets.
210 ball speed from Brandon Flynn there. That's a good ball from him, and it moved left to right. So this might
Here's
take
your
over
383.
374.
Well, they said we called 383, 373. So Drew Cody ends up taking second place there. Brandon Flynn wins at 374. Flynn's going to have 500 points. You will see him into the round of 32 more than likely. We've had multiple playoffs today. Wes ended up winning against 3 other guys, and Maurice went up against Glenn Wilson Jr. in the last one, and Maurice ended up winning. We're going to be back right after this. Brandon Flynn looking good.
Catch every single World Long Drive Tour competition right here on the World Long Drive YouTube channel. The Amateur, Senior, Women's, and Open Division Championship will be available on the Golf Channel. To stay up to date on everything WLD, follow us on social at World Long Drive.
We're going to go to World Long Drive's Instagram page. Congratulate our 5 gentlemen that made it to the World Championships in Atlanta. Let's take a peek here. Spencer McDaniel, the host. Travis Aiken, Gavin Yokas, Glenn Wilson, and Josh Jackson. Josh Jackson ended up getting his first exemption to the World, so we saw Josh hit earlier on this morning. But we're back to the action right now. Brandon Flynn at 500 points. Zach Holton is in slot number 3 here at 385 yards to start off the third set. Scott Littlefield is at 250. Scott made a final 8 in Denver.
Zach Holton with a 385 ball. He's one of the guys you mentioned might be able to come close to a 400 ball with these conditions. You know what's Zach hits it so straight that I mean, I would say at least 25 to 30% of his balls actually do move right to left. He's not always cutting it. And it may not be intentional, but it just shows that his face is very, very square to the target, when he's coming through, which is why he never goes OB. And that's a really good ball there again. So Zach's, I think, one of the guys to beat this week, I would say, is probably a pretty fair assessment.
Good ball right here, but it's a little bit easier when you let's say he's not stepping on the gas. He's just in cruise control. When you're not going at it full tilt, it's a little bit easier to have more of an inside path to hit the inside half of the golf ball. When you're ripping as hard as you can from the top, he might be swinging out 1 degree right, at a 210 ball, but when he's going full throttle at 220, 222, he might be pulling just a degree left. So, he can get his hands to go over the second baseman's head at 210, but, when he's going 222, he might be going a little over the shortstop's head. So, the fact that he can hit a cut and a draw is dangerous. A guy that's really good at that is Justin James, and which we will see here, JJ in next group. So JJ won a tournament earlier this year in Hobe Sound. But I just like the fact that Zach is fast and he hits a lot of balls in play and he hits them straight. He's in a great rhythm.
That's a good combination, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Littlefield with a ball right down the middle. He's at 378.
And that was
Littlefield's
big.
just tough, dude.
He was over his first 4, and you start to feel that pressure on that 5th ball, and he executed.
But Littlefield is just a tough competitor. Someone like we talked about Maurice. I mean, Maurice is just going to constantly just get balls in play. He's going to keep himself alive. Gets tougher as the tournament goes on. And I said, for me, it was enjoyable to watch Maurice on the grid. A great competitor, and the more grid time he gets, the better he's going to get. And I saw some ball speeds in and around 208 to 210 again today for Maurice, and I said we'll see him tomorrow. Zach Holton takes it down at 386. He's got 4 out of 6 in play, and looking good off a W in Denver. All right, we're still waiting on our first 400-yard drive of the tournament. I mean, I'm going to say, we got to be pretty darn close to sea level. We can pull out Mr. Google and text, how high elevation are we in Memphis? But, I mean, it's hot. And, in Denver, the ball's going to carry significantly farther. And if you get a roll grid, 338 feet above sea level. So it's going to carry 1% farther. No, 0.5% farther. Is Denver, you're, 8 to 10?
Yeah, it's a huge difference. And again, it's always the funniest question to me when somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about the sport asks how far I hit it. I have to give them this long-winded explanation because it's not a stock answer.
No, it's not.
And you don't want to short them and say, oh, I hit it about 390 or 400. They're like, oh, well, I have a buddy that hit it 375 the other day. It's like, well, what were your buddy's conditions? Was he hitting a downhill, downwind on firm, zoysia fairways and it ran out for, so I always give them this exactly. I give them these long-winded explanations of all the different factors, and I say it literally can range 100, 120-yard difference between the conditions. So right now, a 400 ball is in play. I think there's no question that if somebody hits the right ball and gets the right hop, 400 is in play, which is an absolute bomb here in Memphis. But the conditions are definitely getting a little bit better. So we're seeing better numbers. I mean, it's a minimum of 370 balls to win sets. Really, it's got to be closer to 380 right now. Whereas in the morning, low 360 balls, we're usually winning the set. So it's definitely getting about 15 to 20 yards longer than it was earlier today.
George Hegarty's ball. This one, not center punch from him, but it stayed in the air a really long time. Let's take a peek at George Hegarty's third ball. This is a big set here right now. Tensei Hirano, if he wins this set, he would have 425 points with 2 more sets to go. So it looks like Tensei currently would have a chance to make it to the round of 32, which would be his first top 32. Wes Campo's at 321, Hegarty's at 331, Damian Dooley is at 349, and Tensei Hirano's at 350.
I mean, this set's big for all 4 of these guys, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a winnable set. And I think all these guys are capable of putting up a winning number, and 200 points would go a long way for all 4 of these guys.
Yep.
In fact, I would venture to say that if you don't win this set, between Wes and Damian Dooley, they're probably in big trouble if they don't pop off a win here. So let's take a look.
That was way right for George Hegarty. Yeah, that was for Hegarty, he just needed to hit a decent ball there. I mean, he's got definitely the most speed. Tensei Hirano looks like he's going to make the final 32. Brandon Flynn with a good ball here. 121. A little low. All right. We're seeing the yardages drop. We're looking back at the flags. The flags are maybe, it's more left or right and slightly into the face, but I say slight, barely. I still feel like a 375 ball is definitely in play here. Brandon Flynn flirting down that right side. A little bit of a miss hit from Mr. Flynn. Scott Littlefield, slot number 3 without a mark. Gavin Yokas in slot number 2. Flynn just needs to slow it down just a tad. Just face open a little bit of impact. He's going to a different club.
Oh, he just made eye contact with him. God, he's good looking.
Brandon Flynn.
Yeah. There's so many hot guys out here.
You're going to make the comment section go crazy. I don't know how many ladies are watching right now.
I'm just kidding. It would be nice to get more ladies out here supporting us, though. You know, I feel like, ladies love baseball players, right?
Yeah.
They love hockey players. They should love World Long Drive guys.
All right, so what we'll do is, since they are listening to us, we're going to try to update after every single set the scoreboard. So right now, Zach Holton, Brandon Flynn, Tensei Hirano, Ryan Gregnall, Hunter Knoll, Scott Littlefield, Gavin Yokas, and Drew Cody are in your top 8 currently. There's a log jam at 353 to 351 yards. We are having more of a stronger crosswind right now. Looking at the flags, like the first flag on the left side of the grid is more towards our face. So let's see if Brandon can just settle in here. He's got 500 points. He's in. Brandon Flynn is going to get in. Not a problem. But doesn't like that last ball. 201. Yeah, definitely a miss hit from Brandon. 2,700 spin. So let's see. Spun it a little bit. I know in Denver early on in the tournament, it was like more of like a lower launch, like higher spin. So that was kind of that with Brandon's last ball. Tensei Hirano currently looks like he's gonna. Tensei Hirano's gonna be in the first guy. Pretty much confirmed in the round of. Oh yeah, and Brandon Flynn and Zach Holt. What am I talking about? They're in.
You know
600
what?
points.
I'm gonna cut you some slack, Bobby. You're running on really low sleep. Travel. Even if travel goes well, it takes it out of you. If you have a flight canceled that was supposed to take off at 8 a.m. and then you end up having a rebook at 10 a.m.
or 10 p.m.
10 p.m. and then it gets moved back another couple hours beyond that, it's just. Let's just say if you had to hit today, it would have been a mess.
It was funny because they had an extra ghost player in that first set. I was like, I'll go hit. If I really truly have to, just mic me up.
Yeah, that'd be
so
fun.
that'd have been hilarious. But Tensei Hirano, he's at 625 points. He will be in the round of 32. Zach Holton is in. Brandon Flynn is in. Gregnall, this is a very, very important round for him. And it's an important round for Drew Cody, too. Drew Cody gets a W here. He'll have 450 points. So he will be, we say 450 is kind of the bubble. But if he gets a win in a second place, you're going to see Drew Cody in the round of 32. And what I like to see with Drew is that he's hit a lot of golf balls. Granted, he hasn't hit too many balls in play, but his misses are straight. So I always look for stuff like that as well. And he's generating a ton of ball speed, too. Like, he's a guy that looks like he's in and around 212 on a center punch golf ball. So Drew Cody's in slot number 2, a big set for him. And like I said, a big set for Gregnall. I just want to keep seeing Gregnall hit balls
Gregnall's got the mustache rocking here. Let's see if he can get off to one of his first 2 or 3 balls in play. I think it's crazy. You take Ryan Gregnall and you guarantee one of his first few balls in play. Totally different situation for him. That's his kryptonite is going OB.
Yeah.
The speed and the flight, never an issue. He's got to find something. Some lineman or some swing thought just to dink one out there and just free him up.
Yeah.
Because once he gets that first one in, he's a top 5 guy in the world with a ball in play. I really do believe that.
Yep. So he's working with the me, myself, and Irene mustache here.
All right, let's take a look at some of these other guys.
I'd
love to take a look at Wes. Give a little analysis on his swing here. He seems to be hanging back a little bit. And kind of throwing that face open, hitting intentional cuts. I don't know. I'd like to see him get his weight shifted a little bit more to the left side. It's almost like he's trying to lift it and try to get a little bit more height out of it. Wes's last ball was 180 feet in the air at 186 ball speed, so he obviously mishit it.
And that's like when you're – it's trying to almost like get through the golf ball where you almost try to hit a little bit high in the face.
Yeah, and that one he leaned back again through impact. Wes, he needs to get his weight transfer a little bit more efficient, get over that left side because he's falling back and he's trying to release it at the same time, and that generates pulls and it generates high cuts. So let's see if we can get a good ball out there.
All right, Gregnall, he's 0 for 4. Drew Cody is at 336. Gregnall just needs to take his time here. Gregnall, ball's down the left side. Is this one going to stay in? This one's flirting down that left side. Don't get much of a reaction out of him, but this one looks like it's going to go OB left.
Let's see what he's got here. I mean,
he's got a one-way miss right now, so it's
he
like, all right.
six-balled me in Denver.
I mean, I would just aim. I would just look down that right side and just try to hit it straight, and maybe he hits a little bit of a cut or a little draw. So it doesn't look like Gregnall's going to stay and play on this ball. Oh no, he did. He goes 390 down that left side. Yeah, that was you know, just you have the shot. You know, the shot tracer just kind of looked like that one was pushing left, but like it didn't look like he was upset with that last ball either. And Hunter's walking with the limp up here right now, but that was a big set for Gregnall. He's not off by a lot, man. Like he's not. Like whenever he's missing, it's just like I said. I feel like he just needs to back off that golf ball just a hair, you know, because he's almost on top of it, like he's fighting off a fastball inside. So
he just doesn't want to waste golf balls. All it takes is one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he's efficient, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Hunter, as you said, is walking on with a limp here. I didn't really get a good look at what happened to him. Obviously, he tweaked something or rolled something. Seems to be a lower limb ailment, I guess you could say. But he's hitting it really well. I mean, you know, Hunter is currently sitting at 350 points. So, you know, it probably is going to take something close to 500 to lock yourself in. So, you know, a second or a win here would be huge for Hunter.
Drew Cody is going to have 350 points, so he's going to give himself a chance to get in. Maybe a second. First will definitely get him in. He'd have 550 points. We're talking about Drew Cody. Gregnall taking a little bit of time here, but confirmed Ryan Gregnall 390 yards.
So Trevor Scott, Hunter, Noel, and George Haggerty. I mean, this is a big set for all three of these guys. More so for Trevor Scott and George Haggerty. I mean, you know, George is sitting at 200 and Trevor Scott's at 175, but they still have 2 sets left. So a win goes a long way for those two guys. Hunter does not need to get a win. I'd say just really a second-place finish or better would be great for him, but any ball in play with the way he's looking right now would probably be all he can really ask for. I mean, he's not looking like he's feeling great. He's kind of hobbling on that leg, but
yeah, being an athlete, I don't even want to watch him hit right now. I always got that like unsettling feeling in my stomach. I just don't. I just hope it's a cramp. We don't know.
Viewer discretion is advised. Watching these swings with Hunter.
The last thing you want to do is see him.
Here's a bet. Do you think he yells at a golf ball this set?
I hope he does. I hope he yells at all 6 golf balls.
Let's see. Let's take a look here at Hunter. I mean, he blocked it way right. I don't know if that's
185. Yeah,
he's uncomfortable there. There's no question. All right, let's take a look here. We got all zeros on the board so far. The Ghost is already zeroed out, so we know we don't have to worry about slot 1. What a shame slot 1's not being utilized. You know, it feels like it's just a waste.
We won't have that issue tomorrow. So
okay, Hunter. I don't know if he liked it or didn't.
203.
Like it.
This one's in play. Haggerty's second ball is going to be close. It was very similar to like Gregnall's, so we can't really tell. Like I said, that you know this line is about as accurate as it can be. But we talked about angles, and the balls aren't carrying as far. But this ball from George Haggerty was a miss hit. He hit a 197 mile per hour ball with, you know, the height was okay, 183 feet in the air, but it doesn't look like it's going to have too much carry on it. Maybe it does, but like I said, I know that's a miss hit, knowing that George can get to 208 to 210 ball speed. We'll see. Still a couple miss hits though from Hunter.
Hunter did yell at one, so he's feeling good enough to swing the golf club.
Yep.
You know, Trevor Scott's a guy. He's got some speed, and he's hit some big balls, dude. Trevor has played spoiler many times, and I think that he is capable of winning one of these important sets if he hits the right ball and giving him a chance to move on. You know, he actually helped me out in Denver, winning a set that kind of helped me get into a playoff, which I shouldn't have been in the first place. But any of these guys can win this set. I truly believe that. Right now, Hunter's got a 367 ball, which is in the lead.
Well, that's a big ball for him right there, though. 205.7. George Haggerty's third ball was definitely in play. We don't have a mark on him right now, but George's third ball was in play. let's take a peek at George Hegarty's next ball here. 3,200 spin, almost 203, 209 in the air, fighting down the right side. 361, George Hegarty.
The 370 ball. Hunter's fifth ball was 370. That's pretty impressive with the way he's feeling. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know exactly what's going on. Trevor Scott's going to go OB. And I don't know if George Haggerty's last two are going to be enough to take over that 370. George is going to be right on the cusp here. So if George does, in fact, stay in second, he'll go from 200 to 300, which would put him in a tie for eighth with Gavin Yokas. So it looks like we're going to have a couple guys battling out for that eighth spot.
I started off in 2019, I believe it was, when I started with a long driver. I couldn't time it. So lost a little bit of accuracy. And then when I was ever on the simulator, I was looking at ball speeds, and I hit playing driver, I hit long driver, and I was actually quicker ball speed with the play driver because I was just timing it a lot better. So from there, I just was like, well, I'm just going to use a play driver. I have a Cobra LTD, and I have a Ventus Black shaft in that, and it's been working so far.
We got Zach Holton in slot 4. Zach picking up where he left off in Denver. He's got 3 straight wins. Hitting a little bit of a draw today, but hitting, I mean, just a ton of balls in play. It's a 213.9. He is on autopilot, hitting a bunch of balls in play right now. 342. But we're going to see Tensei Hirano and Ryan Gregnall's in, Flynn's in, Hunter Knowles in. Scott Littlefield just finished up his 4th set. He's got 400 points. Drew Cody's at 350. Gavin Yokas is at 300. So that was a big OB set for him. And Hegarty's at 300. So far, we've had a playoff in both round robins. First group had 4 hitters for 1 spot, and then last one was 2.
It's getting tasty. I mean, let's take a look at this group here. I mean, Zach Holton's in, right? So the only guy that really has a legitimate chance is Damian Dooley. I mean, I guess
no. I mean,
Bud
Riddle
and Dwight could go
win-win.
win-win. I guess they could go win-win. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
They're just on the outside looking in for sure. Damian yelled at one. He loved it. Dead straight ball. I mean, 203 ball speed, 2,000 spin. This could be a pretty good ball for Damian. I don't know if it's going to be.
I would rather it see go left to right, and that went left to right.
We'll see. I mean, Damian needs a win. All these guys really need a win besides Zach.
He yelled at that last ball, but there's a lot of times, like, I learned with the golf ball, if you hit it in the center face with this and it comes up 15 yards short, it's all spin. It's a spin game, you know. So, and then, that's the beauty of competing in these tournaments and practicing with this golf ball is that, you can make those changes on the fly. Because I remember the first time hitting this ball, there was a couple times where I'm like, man, I hit that dead perfect, and it came back shorter. So,
Like you said, spin. I think some of my bigger balls today were a little bit off the top of the face.
Mm-hmm.
Took a little bit of spin off. And
yep. I think this one's fighting down that right side. He doesn't like it, but, I mean, by the numbers, it looks like it's right down the middle.
Looks
or down
good.
the right center, at least. Let's see
and
what
we're
that
waiting
number
on his
comes
fifth
back.
ball, too. I think his fifth ball missed left. Let's see here. This is huge for Damian. Did Zach?
As of right now, they have it as a
Zach
tie.
went OB. So
Damian Dooley's going to take 150 points if that is the case.
Bud going OB there. That pretty much ruled him out, unfortunately. And if Dwight does in fact take third, that'll rule him out as well. So this is actually a big call here for those 7, 8, 9 spot guys. Does Damian take first solo? Does he tie for first, split the points, or does he fall into second? this is going to rearrange a lot of stuff going into the 5th set. I'm on the edge of my seat.
I'm surprised
this is
Zach
only the round of
Holton's
64.
You can cut attention with a knife.
Was that a Trump impression there?
Yeah. Wendy Gavin, Gindy Wabbin chiming in, the pride of Canada. And we have the leaderboard up. It is underlined. Zach Holton, Tensei Hirano, Ryan Gregnall, Brandon Flynn, Hunter Knoll, Scott Littlefield, Drew Cody, Damon Dooley right now are currently on the inside looking out. But
wow, dude, this is insane. They did in fact tie for first, Damon and Zach Holton, so they split the 300 points for first and second. And we basically have 5 guys that have a chance of making it into the top 8 going into the final set. So let's see who can clutch up. As for this group here hitting right now, it really looks like it's kind of inconsequential.
Tensei Hirano's the only guy that's in.
It's inconsequential, unfortunately. I mean, these guys want to still hit good balls and end on a good note, but this is an inconsequential set in terms of the 8 that will be moving on.
Technically, let's get really technical here. Let's use high school math. If Bud Widener wins the set, Damon Dooley and Drew Cody go OB, Gavin Yokas goes OB, and so does George Hegarty and Wes Campo.
Right. Or
Bud Widener still has a chance.
Points. Okay.
He has a .03897% chance of getting in.
Well,
he is not mathematically eliminated.
We haven't talked enough about him. Let's key in on him then.
Let's talk about Bud Widener. Let's talk about Bud. Where was he born? Let's talk about Bud here. His first name, his real name is Earl Bud
What's his
Widener.
social security number?
Yeah, his social. Guys, get your pens out. Runner-up in the amateur division finals in Hobe Sound. 16th ranked amateur on the planet. Set PRs in club speed and carry last month with a 149-mile-per-hour club speed and a 390-yard carry distance. Competing in both the amateur division and open division this weekend. That is Earl Bud Widener.
Well, he's got speed.
And
you can see it. I mean, even his miss hits are in the 205, 206 range. He's just obviously not flighting it as efficiently as he can be. I mean, he takes an absolute rip at it. I think he liked that last one right there.
I'm gonna try that for our boy Tensei. He's coming in here. Competed in the World Championships last year. That's what we have on him. That is good notes. That is good note taking right there. I like it.
What does it say on me that I'm just an absolute stud?
It'd have to be censored for what had to come out of my mouth. You know, and which we have done a phenomenal job of this year. You had one potty mouth incident, and I had one potty mouth incident.
Yeah,
but mine was
that's not too
justified.
bad.
Mine was justified. Yours was on purpose. And you should be kicked out.
I thought it out. I was like, right.
Because, I can just go live on Lawn Drive and say whatever.
Let's see just to make things interesting, can Bud hit one in play here on his last ball? He cannot. He missed it left. That'll be the end of the day for Bud.
Tensei Hirano, he might take this whole thing down here. Look at this guy here. 825 points.
Yeah, he liked that one, too. I mean, he hit it dead straight. Let's see the curve.
He's got great hair, too.
He does.
He does.
Let's see the curve on that one. 9.8 feet of curve.
A little 9-yard draw.
Victor Wembanyama, number 1 pick overall, has got an 8-foot wingspan. He almost could reach the amount of curve that ball had in a 370-yard drive. Just think about that, folks.
How about him gripping
almost
a baseball?
4 football
Did you see that?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
His fingers overlap a baseball.
Again, you guys may not be basketball guys, but Victor Wembanyama, we are in the world of sports here, and I think it's noteworthy to have a guy who's 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan.
7'5", don't short him.
With guard-like skills, he could potentially change the game and take it over here over the next few years. So it'll be interesting to see. But things are starting to shape up, and they're going to be a little bit interesting here. These next 2 sets, especially. Who are our top 4 seeds? Are our top 4 seeds
the guys that are in are Hunter Knoll, Brandon Flynn, Ryan Gregnall, Zach Holton, Tensei Hirano. Scott Littlefield looks good here. He's at 400 points.
So George Hegarty is actually a top 4 seed guy, and he will be going in that tough last set. So he's got the toughest road.
Yes.
George Hegarty actually has the toughest road of the top 10 guys to get in because he's obviously going to have to hit against Zach. And
Drew
and
Cody's
Ryan
due.
And
Drew Cody's due, and I like the fact that he's in slot number 1. Yokas is sitting here at 300, so this is going to be a battle here. You got Drew Cody and Gavin Yokas I'm keying in on those guys. We got Damon Dooley that's there as well that ended up taking down that last set. But
you know, it's crazy. Gavin's a good hitter, man. I was very surprised by that OB set. Again, St. Louis guy. I've trained with him a lot. He's a lot of fun to be around.
Yep.
Let's see if he can hit a good ball and play here this set.
Let's just go off of ball speed. Drew Cody's the fastest guy on this tee box currently.
Yeah, Gavin went 210 in his third set, so we know that he's got that in him today. That's obviously enough to put a big ball out there and win this set. 339 for Damon Dooley. So getting a number on the board early is huge.
Drew Cody with the ball down the middle here. 198, it is a miss hit. He did yell at it, though. Not too much movement in his golf ball, about 18 yards of right to left, so a little draw, but those numbers are not going to be coming back high. All right, Damon Dooley with a cut. This one's at 198.9, so these guys are mishitting these golf balls. They're getting some yelling right now. You just look at the club speed. They're off by, that's a miss hit by about 10 miles per hour.
We got a tie at 339. Gavin and Damon. So, I mean, all it takes is one guy hitting their best ball, and they probably
don't even
the
have
set.
to even hit a good ball. Like
oh,
I said,
baby, Gavin
let's just
liked it.
let this one stay in there. Like, perfect. With the 137-207, this ball is perfect from Gavin Jokic. I like this ball a lot. This one's going to be 360 easily, if not farther than that. Let's take a peek at the wind. We haven't seen too many big drives in the last, 15, 20 minutes. The wind is more left to right. Gavin Jokic is at 350. Damon Dooley's at 339. He is putting a lot of balls in play right now, but that is a miss hit. Let's see if Gavin Jokic's fourth ball stayed in play. That's the one that we were looking at, that we liked the most. Said it went OB. I don't think it went OV. Drew Cody takes the lead, 359. Huge drive for him.
Oh, my goodness.
I still think that Gavin Jokic's ball is they haven't registered that one. I thought his fourth ball was in play, but right now Drew Cody is in the lead. And here's the thing. Drew Cody could still get in at 450.
Gavin yelling at another one here. Drew Cody at 359, Gavin at 350, Damon Dooley at 339, and Trevor Scott 335. They're all coming down to their last balls here. Very important sets here. Winning the set, you're in. Getting second in the set, you're looking really good. Third and down, you're probably in big trouble. 371 from Gavin, his fifth ball.
I feel like that was his fourth ball that he hit. You know, like the one that stayed in the air forever. All right, so Gavin Jokic looks like he's going to take down this set, which will put him at 500 points. Drew Cody will now be at 450.
So one of those guys was going to clutch up. And
the ball that we liked was 370.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no way that one went 350.
So what are we looking at here, Bobby, points-wise?
Gavin Jokic is going to be at 500. Drew Cody is going to be at 450. Damon Dooley is still in because he is going to – Damon Dooley will be at 400 points after this set. So Wes Campo can't catch Drew Cody at 450. Who can catch him? Haggerty can catch Drew. I think I don't want to say I think Drew Cody's in. I think Drew Cody's in at 450 because Scott Littlefield could take
He's technically not guaranteed in at 450.
Well, because here look at
Gavin,
this. If Haggerty wins, Scott Littlefield has to take third or better to try to tie Drew Cody, and then Haggerty could win it. So, but if Haggerty doesn't win his set, which he's going up against, Zach Holton, Greg Knoll, Brandon Flynn. I'm liking if I'm Drew Cody right now, I like where I'm at 450 points. But Gavin Jokic just put himself into the round of 32. Hunter Knowles in, Brandon Flynn, Ryan Gregnall, Zach Holden, Tensei Hirano.
So lay it out there for us. What needs to happen? Who's got some consequential sets here?
Well, if Scott Littlefield takes second place, he's guaranteed to be in. But that means George Haggerty would have to win his set. Scott Littlefield goes OB, Drew Cody's in.
Hunter Knowles guaranteed in. So really, we really need to focus in on Scott Littlefield here,
just in this set alone.
Okay.
So Scott Littlefield, if he wins, he's in. If he takes third, he would be tied with Drew Cody. So worst case scenario, they would go into a playoff if George Haggerty wins. If George Haggerty doesn't win, it doesn't. Scott Littlefield just needs to put a ball in play right now. So Dwight Riddle
had a 210 ball with a good spin rate. I don't know if it's 8 in or not, but it looks like that should probably take
There's
the
no
lead.
movement. Let's take a look at that number, too. I like those numbers. It's 349. Ball's just not going very
So,
now
if the conditions change every 5 or 10 minutes, I mean, it can change in 30 seconds. It really can. Right now, a 360, 370 ball all of a sudden has a chance to win sets again, which is what it was at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So, these guys might be getting hot and tired and slowing down, but I really think it's just the conditions are changing a little bit here.
Scott Littlefield putting a little bit too much pressure that he needs on himself right now. Just needs to put a ball in play. Just needs to put one in play right now. That one's flirting down that left side. He just needs to put a number on the board. Like I said, he could take a third place or worse. And if I was Hunter Knoll, honestly, if I'm in and I'm nursing a little bit of an injury, I probably wouldn't hit. I know that he's, I'm trying to think of the word, I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to hit for the sportsmanship of the game.
Exactly.
But he's obviously limping, and for him to hit doesn't necessarily need to do it. So Littlefield, that's a big ball for him. That gives him a definite
I'd say
end.
that's unless 6 balls come in from Wes and Hunter in the grid bigger than 356.
Yep.
He's looking pretty good. No, Hunter's, I think it'll be Wes OB. So Scott Littlefield will be in.
Oh, Scott Littlefield dropped back down to 346. He looked back at the number. He thought he was in the lead, and now he's not. But he's going to be at 500 points. So Scott Littlefield is going to be in. You're in, Scott. You're good, buddy. So.
I got to tell you, Hunter and Wes kind of handed that one to Scott. He didn't have his best set and kind of got away with it. But that's the sport, man.
That's
a sport. I mean, if Wes or Hunter hit a good ball in play, and you never know what can happen. You definitely need some breaks, and he caught one there. I mean, he's a good hitter. I'm not saying he definitely deserves to go through. He just didn't have his best set there and caught a little bit of a break, and now he's moving on to tomorrow. It's not unlike any other sport, right? Sometimes you get good breaks, sometimes you get bad breaks, and if you're a good enough hitter, you can kind of handle some of the bad ones. For myself, I know once I get into that round of 32 and 16, it's hard to handle a whole lot of bad breaks. And, you need the better bounces rather than the worse ones. And it's just crazy, man. And right now, it looks like everything's kind of shaping up where George Haggerty has to win the set. And, and he would obviously knock out Drew Cody.
Yeah, I like the fact that Haggerty's in slot number 1, though. I feel like number 1 is the best slot to be hitting in, especially if you hit a cut. We have Ryan Gregnall, Brandon Flynn, and Zach Holton hitting. You know what? I'm going to get a 3X slow-mo on Mr. Holton here. Stand up here and get a nice little slow-mo of this gentleman.
I'm keying in on George Haggerty right now. The other 3 guys are in.
They're safely in.
Ryan Gregnall hit a 219 ball up the left side. That might be a huge number. George Haggerty just hammered one right down the middle of the grid. Miss hit, under 200 ball speed, but it is moving left to right, and we do know that it's the better shape right now.
Waiting on numbers from everybody. We have nothing as of right now. Brandon Flynn is down the right side. Gregnall's at 64. Flynn's at 47. I mean, we've seen a drastic drop in yardages.
George Haggerty, another one that'll be in play, starting down the left, cutting back into the middle of the grid, but another miss hit. I seriously doubt a 198 ball is gonna win a set with these guys. So he's gonna have to find the center of the face.
Zach Holton with a skinny shot, 87 feet in the air, 209 ball. Trying to get a nice slow-mo video of the Denver champ.
Brandon Flynn just leaving the face open a little bit on that one, missing right. We're still waiting on balls for George Haggerty. I mean, we got nothing so far, and he likes that one a lot, I think.
He's yelling.
It's just spinning too much. I mean, if it is, in fact, 3,000 spin, that's too much spin. If you're anywhere near 3,000, the ball is just not going to go very far unless you're, hitting downwind. So I'd like to see a ball for George Haggerty. Obviously, By the way, these guys working the grid and the ball callers, we couldn't do without them. So it's awesome these guys are out here volunteering, helping us out. And again, without them, it'd be impossible to do what we do.
Yep.
Having said that, it'd be nice to see a ball from George Haggerty.
Yeah, if I was George, I actually would probably try to just hit like a golf shot, just like smooth, kind of like smooth it, because you're looking at his club speed, and he's at 144 to 146. Just take a golf shot, hit a golf shot here, and I guarantee you those numbers jump drastically. Just a nice smooth golf swing. But yeah, I said he overswung there. We don't know if ball 5's in play or not, but Drew Cody's looking good right now. But
he had at least 1 or 2 balls in his first 3.
The window was open right there for George Haggerty to get in. His longest drive was 366, which is 2 yards farther than Gregnall's. But right now the conditions are harder right to left.
Yeah, I'm going to say he did not hit a ball 364 or longer based on the spin rates. I think he was spinning it too much.
Is Drew Cody going to get in? That is the question.
If I was a betting man, I would say yes, but, we've seen crazier things happen. I think one of his first couple balls might have been high on the face, George Haggerty's. And
that 5th ball was the one that I felt like was his best ball. It kind of stayed in the air for a while. That one stayed in the air for a while. That 5th ball went OB.
That'll do it.
Let's wait for the underline, but it looks like Drew Cody's going to get in. He's going to be the 8th and final guy to get in. Zach Holton, Tensei Arano, Ryan Gregnall, Brandon Flynn, Hunter Knoll, Gavin Yokas, Scott Littlefield, and Drew Cody round out the top 8 here in group number 3. We're going to be back at 2:30 Central Time. We're live in Memphis. World Long Drive is back for event number 5.
Introducing the new Bridgestone E9 Long Drive, co-designed by World Long Drive athletes to push the limits of distance. Thanks to extreme ball speed and superior aerodynamic flight. Engineered for you to hit your longest drive. Drive the new E9 Long Drive, extreme distance for your game.
The best long hitters in the world have come for a chance to call themselves a world champion. It's all about power. It's all about accuracy. It's all about guts.